unresolved and undefined in this echo chamber.
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about fire. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I am the void walker.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void Live. It's Cosmic Conditions, January 29th, 2025. And I think I've got most of the tech glitches worked out. Although we're not on the radio station as of yet, but we will be. So if anybody's saying, oh, I can't hear it on the Fringe FM, tell them to come to YouTube, right, for now, until we get that worked out. But thanks to you guys, the radio station's back up. Big shout out to Georgiana for the 20. Thank you so much. So we're here again, and this night I know I could do. I've been down and out pretty bad since I got back from Texas. I don't know, it all just hit me at once, especially yesterday. And so thank God Mary's here because she's going to be doing most of the talking, right? So if I have a coughing fit, I can just hit mute. I'm hoping I don't because my ribs hurt from coughing. You know, the thing about when dudes get sick, we sound like freaking babies, though, don't we, when we get sick?
No, they just state the facts.
We just turn it into this big drama thing, you know? It was, I've been a wreck, though, for the past few days, honestly, but got to do this show, man, and I'm feeling a little better than I did yesterday, although I'm afraid to cough because I'm hurting all over. But I appreciate all the advice and all the people telling me to feel better and all of your health advice that you're giving me. It's just a cold. I get one. Sometimes I don't get sick at all, Mary, and then sometimes when I do, I get these damn things, you know, so.
It is the type of alignment and forced disengagement. We get ourselves into these periods of extreme. Hello, everybody. We get into these extremes of like, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity, or oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this. Oh, it's been so boring, or it's been so cold, or it's been so this. And so then we leap, because who's not up for a fascinating adventure every once in a while, whether that's work, but it's the change factor. And so when we first, initially, Aquarius is all about change. It's an Aquarian first new moon of 2025, first lunation new moon involving the new 20-year cycle of the planet Pluto, transactional analysis of new archetypes rising up, rising over, and not being locked down by any kind of divide we fall. It's unified we conquer, united we stand. And so it has a lot to Pluto right now. We're humming, we're buzzing. So for some of us, there's so much on our plate, we literally don't have time to do anything but organize, strategize, focus, hit it hard, hit the payment running, tie your boots after you get started, kind of a thing, into, wow, the end of the year was so slow, and the holidays and the new year. And then all of a sudden, bam. And Aquarius It's that electrical enlightenment bolt. It's the lightning bolt. It's Uranus. It's the thunderbolts and the extra light in the darkness of the heavens being poured on to our earth life. We are spirit. We are spirit, currently living in this dimension, in these human creature mammalian temples. And so Aquarius reminds us, Pluto hasn't gone into the sign of Aquarius for over 247, 48 years. So this is a first for us in this life walk, in this incarnation, to be experiencing such a monumental shift of the divine alchemy of some of the mundane 3D world, materialistic, need for greed, what triggers us, the drama we get locked up in, halt. Really, we get a reality bite with that one and realize that we've just run in the same old patterns from the habits of what triggers us and how we deal with drama or don't, and how we escape or confront. And then all of a sudden Aquarius says, hey, you're so much more than just your mind. And this is the best new moon of 2025, in my very humble opinion. This new moon of the very futuristic, visionary, humanitarian, all for one for all, yang energy of Aquarius, the water bearer, the constellation that literally is pouring the starlight from the heavens onto the earth, that electromagnetic charge, that dynamic charge. And then we have the symbol of the new year being in the Chinese Zodiac, which happens at the Aquarius new moon annually, the sign of the Chinese sign of the wood snake. 2025 is a 9-year in numerology. We're letting go of all that has served us both effectively and all that is destructively hindering us. So 9 is the top of the cycle, and we are literally turning around to look one last time at, I'm ready to move from this place. I'm ready to let go of that wound. I'm ready to forgive first myself and how I got entrapped, beguiled, bewitched, or entangled, and how I represent and present myself to the world with my better version of self. So Aquarius is this dynamic of all of us in our charts. The Aquarian factor, the Aquarian plus energy is we are divine. We are heaven to earth, earth to heaven. Holy Spirit, the great I am, the God factor breathes life into this person body, and now our spirit has potentiality. It will have temptations. It will have snares, both mental, emotional, and psychological. But when we stop getting tempted and want to move in to more of the recipe of soul strengthening, of soul sovereignty, Aquarius gives us all that. What would appear to people locked in the material world is that woo-woo or that spiritual, what do they call them, snake oil salesman? And it's the year of the snake in the Chinese Zodiac. And snake in astrology, FYI, is associated with Taurus, which is an earth sign, and it's the year of the wood snake. We've had a snake year every 12 years prior to this one, but we haven't had a wood earth element snake year since 1965. So I myself, I'm going to kind of pull up on Twitter now, X, Grok, or Brave, or some kind of search engine. I'm going to pull up what were the significant historical news-making items of 1965, because I want to see the parallels to do with the unification of we the people, which Aquarius is all about. I want to see how prices were. I want to see, what the dynamic was. I'm absolutely not owned by my identification with political or just one country. When we get into the soul energy, we want the win-win for all those souls of light. And so we want to put light on our Mother Earth. So this new moon in Aquarius and the Chinese New Year of the snake, and most of the planets now moving into the element of heaven, air, etheric, the human breath, the divine breath coalesced as one. Our thoughts, our mind, our subconscious pattern, all of the mental realm, our ability to travel outside our bodies, to be moved by meditation and to be absolutely miraculously transformed and healed and cut loose by prayer and that sovereign alignment with the risen Christ, of the Almighty I Am, of the Holy Ghost breathing you. So we have this dynamic and the choice of spiritual anchorship that suits you, that you really see the better version of yourself coming out by your spiritual dedications and commitments. And that is a daily, sometimes hourly thing to keep ourselves in alignment with the best version of ourselves. So Aquarius is about the alchemy of that we're moving past the culture of what our parents told us was right or wrong. Every relationship, every intimacy where they said one thing and did another, do as I say, not as I do. Because
Right.
Aquarius is opposite sign. The balance sign is Leo, the lion. So where Aquarius will fight the good fight in order to get the bigger win, to get the win for the collective, for the future, for humanitarian survival and prosperity, Leo will fight to be right. So Leo gets caught up in, the ego isn't a bad thing. Our ego can actually steer us into how to manage and understand the bloom of our soul, the bloom of spiritual gifts and ability. With this new moon, we have what's called a stellium, or a meeting, or a group of planets, when it's over 3, that are in 2 very strong particular areas. What's being featured in all of our charts is the Aquarius stimulation. It's electrical, it's plugged in, it's our ability to absolutely set our intentions and know that those of you, any of us, that fight against necessary changes, finishing out one program, knowing that it's just a matter of time or a matter of certain tasks you have to do or payments to pay or commitments to do. You know, a woman, she gets pregnant a certain amount of time until she's not carrying a baby anymore. She's actually going to have that child, and a new cycle begins. So we're in this cycle of where certain fruit ripened, certain fruit rotted, and other went on and from the blossom and just stayed the blossom. So what we've got going on right now is that change is the absolute. Like if somebody says, well, if the star stories could tell me one thing for certain, especially into May of 2025, if you had to pick one way of saying where our attention is going to be snatched, grabbed, if it's like somebody taking their hand on your chin and going, look here, don't let them have you look over there while something's happening over here. The first place to look is spirit. The second component to that will be that you're looking within. How happy am I where I'm living, what I'm doing? Am I too focused in my mind and my thoughts on what I don't have and what I fear and what it seems to be I'm trapped in or snared into? And how might I start shifting from just the habitual repetition of that and move into some type of new mental focus of where I'm beginning to put my spirit, my mind, my dedication, my energies, my intentions, and my attention to being aligned with Great Spirit, Holy Spirit, to be able to believe and receive that it's now time. Change. None of us are going to escape the fact that 2025 is the year of change. And then we go to the Chinese symbol of the snake. I think about the Kundalini. I think about how that's, in some of the ancient Eastern texts and in the Hindu, the Kundalini is a coiled like a snake at the base of the spine. The Kundalini rises as someone begins to integrate their spirit, their life's purpose, their heartfelt work. I think about the medical caduceus and how that is both confused sometimes when there's one snake on one side of the rod and there's like a plant on the other side. This is the rod of Asclepius, and it's the rod where it's the kingdom. You think about Moses when he raised up. There's another snake. When the snakes were starting to bite the people because they were in disrespect to God as Moses was leading them out of the deserts, and there's called the staff of healing. And so the snakes came in and were biting the people. And so Jesus told Moses to rise rise up make an image of a snake of brass or gold or copper or something and put it on this rod, and anyone that got bitten, lift it up, have them gaze at it, and they would be healed because so many people were dying of these deadly poisonous snakes. It was a type of plague at the time. And then we go to Hermes, Mercury. That's the two coiled snakes on the rod. It's a medical symbol, and it's Hermes or Mercury. And our military kind of adopted that. The medical and the military, even the Blue Cross shield has the snake on it. So if it's two snakes, it's the caduceus. If it's the one snake, then it goes into the daughter of Apollo, and it's called the rod of Asclepius, and that's one snake with a branch, a wooden branch. And all these symbols, they're like awakening an ancient part of us. Aquarius is cultural, it's rich, it's global, it's what's so important to the Samoan culture versus the Aborigine, what's so important to the Polynesian, or what are some of these ancient beliefs, and how did everybody get along, and how did everybody find purposefulness and joy in their daily lives. Aquarius can also, there's pluses and minuses that I always talk about with each zodiac energy. It's like recipes in spirit soup. And the Aquarius spice, there's pluses or minuses, and Aquarius is the rebel that will defy the odds, and it would be that archetype of, I'm the Robin Hood, I'm the adventurer, I'm the way shower, I'm committed to my spiritual beliefs. I don't have to force my beliefs, my visions, or my testimonies on anybody. I have to walk it. I have to be it, and people will see it themselves. And if they don't, not my problem. I'm being authentic. So the minus side of Aquarius is how much that the social techies want to combine, whether it's Neuralink or a chip or whatever it is, into the actual coiled serpents that we have, our DNA, and the encodement of our sacred divine mathematics, and encodements and things like that. That's my God code for me. I don't put that on anybody else, but that was the magical alchemy that happened when Spirit entered this vehicle, this body, this temple, and said, now go do this. Ye are gods, So Aquarius reminds us that life is much bigger than our financial, our health, the struggles that are around us. These are all earthly, walking, living lessons and courses that we either succumb to or we overcome. And so this particular lunation, this particular dynamic, and those of you that follow the Farmer's Almanac or you like to do what's actually the sky, Aquarius is the heavens, the constellations, and all those messages up there. There are 6 planets, 7 as you come into the new moon, that are aligning until like the end of around the 23rd, 25th of February. And you can go to the Farmer's Almanac, you can go to earthsky.org, and you can look up and literally see them. I was awakened around 3 to 4 a.m. last night, and I thought, I want to see if I can see the parade of the planets this hour. And what you do is you look south, then you start to scan the sky from east to west, and you'll spot each planet, and you'll see Mars, and then it'll be Jupiter and Uranus and the moon. So it's easy if you're looking left of the moon. If you're looking right of the moon, then you'll see descending from the moon on the right side, Venus, Neptune, and Saturn. Some of them would be better seen with binoculars or a telescope, and I'm telling you, that energy is very active. We've got the Chinese lunar year, which is just animals in their zodiac sign, and the energy correlations of that. But Aquarius is the part of us that says, it's time for me to remember the powers that the divine let me arrive with, and society or my culture or my race or the TV or the news or the media or gaming or bosses or lovers. Why did we believe? It's good to learn about ourselves, but another mortal doesn't speak the truth of how bad you've been and how well you can overcome and be a walking experience of miracle. That's the divine, and that is your, if you will, spiritual codes. That is all that you have. Some people don't want to look there, they don't believe it, and they can get caught in the trauma of this earth walk. But Aquarius is here to remind us. And what's happening by sign is there's the big energy, of course, is that Mercury moved into Aquarius today. and we have the sun and the moon coming together in the sign of Aquarius happily. And Aquarius gives us that ability to have the vision and not get caught up in the detailed drama or other people's opinions. The vision comes. So this is a highly electrified, spiritual, prayerful opening to the message of the divine purpose of your life, your guides, your angels. The angelic electricity is palatable. We have another grouping of planets in Pisces. Pisces is the element of water, the depths, the mysteries of the oceans. Water has memory. Water has a currency to it. The currents, the flow, or the damming up. Not enough water in California, an inundation of water in western North Carolina, Tennessee, and other places. With the full moon that had happened in September of last year that unleashed Milton and Helene. So we've got these groupings of planets in Pisces, and this is the ability to transcend, to alchemize, to adore, to be very aware of where you're investing your energy, your currency of your soul, and your empowerment. It's your ability to take time. You know, as it says in the Psalms, take ye apart a while and rest. You know, he restoreth my soul, thy rod and thy staff. There's the caduceus again, and the kundalini coming up the staff, the base of our spine. And so we're shedding the old. We're not going to let media and AI and social tech remove our empowered humanness, the heavenly fire and the heavenly accelerations that can go on while we walk this earth in our earth temple. So it isn't of our highest spiritual order to let anything of the media or the techie control what we actually feel when we're with another human, look and see when we're looking in the eyes in the presence of other humans, and also be able to feel who you are in higher stratus and levels as you are with your Mother Nature. It's Mother Nature, Father God. So what we have is we have this presence of the masculine, of the yang, saying to us, rise. You know, the wood snake, the forest floor is his home. I didn't know, being a gal that was born in the mountains, I didn't know till like 6 or 7 years ago that snakes would climb up trees to get in bird nests. I didn't even know that. I'm just like, what? Snakes climb trees? So, I mean, I was just like, wow, hillbilly, you missed that one. So there's things that we're going to be learning about. It always wants to ascend. It either wants to be stealth and be in camouflage and be very stealth while it's molting and shedding the old skin, but it still knows about magnetic vibrations. So I would wrap that dynamic up by saying this year is a vision quest. It hasn't been this kind of year for 18 to 19 years as far as Pluto is concerned. It's like Hades in Greek mythology, the Lord of the underworld, if you will, as far down as we can go. The Lord of the underworld or hell takes that people can't see on the surface, above ground, if you will, and brings it up on the earth and goes, this is what it looks like down there. This is the underneath that this is the shadow. Here's what it looks like. You know, make your decision. You have God-gifted free will, but know that there are shadow components, and if you focus on them and give them too much maneuverability in your life, then the shadows sit at your table and have to be dealt with. So if you understand that when you meet those shadowy memories of those darker aspects of yourself, when we get mired in frustration and paralyzed with fear, resentments, insecurities, afraid to be vulnerable again, a 9-year, the Aquarius energy, the grouping of the Pisces planets, getting along with Mars and Cancer. Mars and Cancer is home. It's home. First home is how at home are we with our spirit. Then we hear things in the techie media like, deport them, send them back, get out, go to your home country. You know, how well are we feeling in the place that we reside right now? How comfortable are we within our own spirit? A lot of that's going on, especially till the third week of February when Mars will turn direct. But right now it's in the sign of the Great Mother. It's in the sign of, are we giving ourselves enough time to nurture ourselves? Do we feel guilty getting a massage? Do we feel guilty if we've ate really well, worked really hard, and we just want to take a time to process it? Other people can just hit it hard for 3 weeks and then just collapse for a couple of weeks and rest up and lay in the sun. So we all have different types of strategies of how we're going to get what matters to us, the proper focus, get it completed, get the reward. Then what's the bigger reward? We feel good that we did it ourselves and we stuck to it. So here's the dynamics. So find the Aquarius and the Leo zones of your chart. If you are a strong Aquarius or a Leo, this is a tipping point like you've not seen for 20 to 25 years. This is the year you make the move. Whatever you choose to be your top 3 priorities of this here is going to change in my life. That Aquarians, you're number 1 on point. Leos, it's happening to you and around you. The ruling planetary governor, if you will, of the sign of Aquarius is called Uranus. Some people pronounce it Uranus, and that's the lightning bolt thrower I mentioned before. And so he's up in the clouds in the heavens, and he's the one in the Greek myth that throws the lightning bolts to recharge the earth. So all those mammals and creatures that we are feel the energized power in our life force, our breath. So what's happening is it's in Taurus, and all the Pisces stuff is sweetly visiting with the earthiness of the Taurus, because what we have at this new moon at 9 degrees is that we're getting a new vision and image of the self that we crafted ourselves to be in order to cope, in order to overcome, in order to escape, and in order to learn a way to express healthy anger or frustration rather than self-destructive or lashing out at others. These planets are going to be shifting. I told you in the last podcast, as we get on into spring, summer of 2025, it's going to be the Aries Aquarius lighthouse, clearing up all the fog. Right now, we've still got the misty ability of Pisces, while Mars is in Cancer, saying to us, and you speak to the divine how, and are you always asking, or are you willing to receive? Can you allow yourself to quiet the mind and just open your heart and allow the holiest of hosts, the I am, the all that is, to come into you and be the director of the entirety of the things that you both desire and the things that you fear. So then the divine alignment will break up what's stagnant or scary clown or frustrating or where you feel you're leashed or tethered or stuck, and give you new medicine, new ways of appreciating and being grateful for the people in your life that stuck by you, the people in your life that are there to and still encourage you, even when they saw us at our most challenged, at our saddest, at our worst, where we felt like just giving it all up, when we sunk. And then to be able to, first of all, pat ourselves on the back and see that we got back up in the saddle. Yeah, and then decided to teach people how they could get back up in the saddle. So this is a saddle up, cowboy. Get your bow and arrow, Robin Hood, all for one and one for all, because the Aquarius Pisces energy is especially strong. Uranus is turning direct, Jupiter's turning direct, and what it's all saying, we've got Mercury Cazimis, and these are fancy astrologers of 30, 40 years' words that tell the public that there is a dance of chance spinning on the roulette wheel right now. And you, dear listening audience, you are like a lightning rod. You're like a magic wand. And you have to shed some skins, and you have to allow the shedding away and the dropping off of those things that have hindered you and impeded you, and with somebody else's idea of you'd only be liked if you were this way, and you identified with this and this or that, and you had to keep shouting at the mountaintops, this is who I am, and you have to respect it. Just for Christ's sake, go be yourself. You don't have to keep announcing it. But the important thing with Aquarius and Pisces is, how are you with you? No matter how you color your hair or don't, or how big or little you are, how are you really doing with you, with all these things that you dedicate yourself to and rebel against or softly collapse inside with? How are you dancing and singing and receiving the prosperity and the peace that comes with allowing yourself to be very authentic and aligned with the divine? That's what this new moon is giving us. And so the image that you thought you were to others and the way that you come across and what you want to represent is undergoing a change, a really big change. It's like we drop our old clothes, take a bath or a shower, and put on a new set of clothes for this or that, going out, going to bed, whatever it is. That's what's happening. It's like it isn't. we are getting an entire new uniform. And so think wisely about what it is that you want in your breath work, the way you look out of your eyes, the way that you give your word. This is absolutely the first 6 months of 2025. The people that are going to get the good karma and the people that are going to see the prosperity flow into their life like a beautiful waterfall in the mountains or the echoing of the tides is going to be the people that say what they mean and do what they say. Because Aquarius will shut your ass off like a light switch if you commit to something and yet you don't follow through. Aquarius will be like, you know what, I was there, it could happen, that was half-assed. So you know what, I'm glad to know you, we can still be friends, but yeah, you're not working for me. Because Aquarius is like, do it or don't. And one of the things I took away on what we call in America Inauguration Day was that we had on Inauguration Day, there was the joining of Pluto for the first time in 248 years in Aquarius with the Sun. It was just really interesting because they were both at that beginning degree. And what I kept hearing when I was multitasking and doing different things, because it was just a moment in time. Like, it's not been here for 248 years, and I'm not caught up in the archetypes of personality, plus or minuses, don't care, just want the message. And the message I kept getting was golden age, and things are now going to be moving forward on merit. And my spirit guides kept saying, because I thought, I haven't heard that word in a long time. And then there was the word metricosity or metric and then osity thrown in there. I'll have to keep practicing that to say that and get my grammar right on that. And it's a system based on they show up, they commit themselves, they have merit, they have integrity, they follow through, and I have merit. It can only be a win-win. It can only be a win-win. We're not competing. We're wanting everything and everyone to have a win-win. So I thought I'm going to add that to my intentions on this Aquarian new moon. Thank you, Divine, for invoking and empowering and gently and with humor and joy and laughter and just good times, let me see how merit can manifest in my life and how I can come to have a better, wholesome, active relationship with merit in all of my activities. And sometimes we have to use that merit or that authenticity and set boundaries and say, enough is enough. Time for me to take time for me. I'm not going to even white lie your ass. I'm tired. I need a day. So it's people respect us even when they don't get their way, if we at least can include them. If we're working with them or we're loving with them, at least include them in what seems to be a disturbance in our force. And if we're around them a lot anyway, just maybe the Aquarian Pisces compassion healing energy can be that they come up with some kind of concept or say something a different way that you go, oh, whoa, that's good. That's my aha right there. Thank you. Didn't even look at it like that. The Divine will be active and it will be speaking in a various amount of ways, through animals, through nature scenes, through revelatory type of things of what they told you was this, in reality was that. So the signs most affected by this Aquarian dance are the signs of Aquarius and its balance opposite sign, Leo. And those are fixed signs. And the other two fixed signs are Scorpio and its balance opposite sign of Taurus. These four signs are most illumined during this marriage of the Sun and the Moon and Mercury and Pluto in Aquarius. And so what's happening is I'm going to give you the number of the houses of what it's stirring up with after we come back from the break, and you'll know that this is the number and this is the place, just based on your sun sign, of where this lunation of the new moon, the Sun and the Moon being married, is going to actually be the theme, or you'll start to see the stimulation or the instigation once you plug in of what else the Aquarius energy is going to do. It's intense. It's very intense.
Feels intense. I think Dan said what you were trying to say, a meritocracy.
Yeah, meritocracy. Thank you. I'm going to practice that word. I'm going to look up the etymology of it. And you wait. Next month when we get together in the third week of February, we'll be like, okay, the Deuce has
what is
studied
it about that? Where did we? It feels like we lost that somewhere, doesn't it? Like,
that's my point. Why hasn't it been? How come it feels so foreign? When I heard it, I'm like, merit. I know that word. I haven't heard that one in a while.
Everything seems like lately it's been about perception and glamour and BS and like it just, you know what I mean?
Innocuous things, yeah. Innocuous things are just, now don't get me wrong, being able to, drive a mechanically sound vehicle and be able to afford a wonderful cat, a wonderful dog, an animal that you just absolutely is your bud, being able to have a little, a nice little patch of land and care enough about, it's not the size of where you live, but care enough about it. Ours is in Cancer, care enough about it to clean it and freshen it and find the essential, don't do those plug-in artificial flavored Febreze things. Sorry, Febreze, that's just my own little opinion. Sorry, not sorry. But find the essential oils. I mean, it's inexpensive to get a cotton ball and find your combination of essential oils that uplift your spirits when it's too hot outside or it's too cold outside, and learn which oils aren't a good thing to put into your diffuser for your animals or a baby. Learn that it can be done in a very light way up high where the cat or the dog or the baby can't get it, and it's down in some kind of vase, and it's one little cotton ball with a bunch of clean cotton balls on top of it that's just letting that scent go up to catch your ceiling fans and but it's something that uplifts you. It's something that uplifts you. And so it's sound and it's sight and sound healing and water, how important water is going to be coming back in 2025, Joe. It's going to be very important that we look at how we bless our water, like see the water that we drink, maybe not every single time, but just in general, hold in our consciousness that water is very much, it's been proven, has a life force. And there's been people that have done the Tibetan sound bells and the drums and everything and measured it with plants and watched the sand dance and quantum designs happen. Same thing as with water. And so we want to make friends with water. We want to thank the element of water. We want to understand that it could be an active year of people seeing snakes. And if you do some medical study on that, there's been a lot of the vipers that have been worked with in science and in medicine for years to try to see if that antibite, the snake venom, or the remedy to if you get bit, how that's helped with cases of like leprosy or other things that have abounded over decades. So it's interesting to see where that started and where that went. And so there's an energy right now with the Pisces, with Saturn and Neptune and Venus, and these late degree Pisces, and the North Node is stationary. And I want to teach you something about astrology. You hear these terms, and even though you've learned your signs and you kind of learned your houses, it's just the mechanics of the star science. That's all it is. So there's a thing where you'll hear the word retrograde a lot, and then you'll say, oh, good, Mercury's direct again, or oh, that planet went direct again, and that's where people get kind of stuck. But before a planet goes retrograde, before a planet can go direct, as they say, in the scheme of it, does this thing called a station. And the station is like you decided you're going to go take a train, or you're going to get in your car, or you got to have someone take you to the airport. You got to park your car, take the tram to the airport, and you're at the station. You're at the bus station or the airport, or you're you rented a car and you're on your way, or you're traveling in somebody else's car. But there's a stationary period where you're putting the luggage in the car and the plane and whatever it is. And so you're at that. Sometimes they're called terminals. Not like that term, like station or just airport. And there's that pause, like it's that tween time between I'm going back or I'm going again. I'm coming back home from where I went out to. And so the station is today with this new moon over tonight and tomorrow. And so what happened is the North Node went into Pisces. And so it was retrograde, as nodes often do, but now it's stationed to get ready to go direct. So it's stationed in an allegiance and a very compatible campfire dance. It's a wonderful celebration type of energy of the Pisces energy of I had to feel it to heal it. Yep, I just had to let my feelings, I was holding them back, trying to shove them down, wanted to forget it, didn't want to get it, never wanted to have to cross that road, think about that ever again. But when they come up, when those thoughts that have been holding us back come up sweetly and gently and safely, then they actually realize that they don't have a job to do with us anymore. And so they can heal and leave us too. And so Pisces is about the sweet way, the holding space way, the arisen Christos consciousness way, giving it up to the throne of Christ, to having your angels help you. They're divine messengers. That's what angel means. Letting the risen Christ, letting the Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, breathe me, direct this. I give you full power here and now and in all ways. Thank you. Always thank. However you pray or however you tend or whatever you have intended or affirmed, give thanks for it. And take a moment, not just say the words or just think it, but just feel the gratitude and the thankfulness that whatever went right today really was right. Whatever horrible thing that could have happened today didn't. Grateful for that. Working a lot of people through a lot of tough stuff right now. So once they've gone through something horrible or tough or just freeze framing them and knocking their legs out from under them for a while, it's so easy to jump to gratitude when something horrific or sudden or tragic has happened to you, or you've just had a run of bad luck, or you got your own ass in trouble and now you got to climb the mountain. But once you go through that stark awakening, it's very easy to be grateful. So Pisces is the energy of shifting to your higher self, and the opposite of Pisces is Virgo. The South Node in Virgo right now is saying, how's your second brain? That's your gut. That's your biome. How's that second brain? Got gut issues, got stomach issues, got bowel issues? How's your gut? And do you go against your first instinct, your gut instinct about things because you want that person to like you or you want that person to get off your ass or whatever it is? How's your biome? So Virgo is the daily way that we move forward and want to keep ourselves healthy or better. And so we're kind of wrapping up what works in our routine and what doesn't, what needs to really be prioritized and get done on a commitment. And I really like the next 2 weeks on into our full moon in Leo over February 12th and 13th. I have such psychic confirmation that this energy, this buzzing, this connecting and plugging in with the heart and the soul and the mind to the divine alignment and the heavenly is, I've not felt this strong. I remember feeling this like somewhere in August in the late 80s. I remember like, whoa, there's a palatable, I can feel the electricity and I can feel the magnetic healings and clearings that are going on with people. I see it in their eyes. I don't have to know their stories. And I was feeling it too. And I feel that now. Some of you will be dizzy. Some of your back may hurt. You may have your upper leg or your back or, your posture. You're not sleeping as well. Others of you are tired all the time. But there's something going on to where spirit's beginning to say, wow, I always loved that food. Now I don't really like that anymore. Well, that's changing. So there's big shifts that are going on with you. And sometimes that temporary frustration is about, I'm not in control of this right now. There's something definitely going on here, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Well, that's because Spirit's not just going to put a finger on it. It's going to give you a hand. It's going to give you a hand. And so before we go to breaking signs, this is, to me, because it's air sign, thoughts are things, what we speak, we give life to, both in our inner voice, our prayers, our baptisms, our intentions, our commitments to one another, to how we'll be the best version of ourselves with God. I feel like that with Pluto joining Mercury, it's reshaping your voice, how you say what you say, your thoughts, your mind, and how you express it. It's going to clear out the scattered, cluttered noise of our patterns, our psychological patterns, and our mental energy, and it's going to help us to see the truth of what lies beneath. That's the Pluto, the beneath. So it's Aquarius is really brilliant at breaking things that limit us, at getting us out of jail, breaking constraints. It'll shatter the boxes and open up envelopes, and if it has to burn a bridge to find out how to get started, how to get motivated, it will. A lesser-known oracle tarot card of the sign of Aquarius, and people get into studying the signs and the numbers and the artistic cards, most people know that number 17, which is the star card, which is a type of heavenly angelic messenger that comes to a body of water on Earth, and she's got the Aquarian urn, and she's not taking water out of that little pond. She's actually taking the vessel and pouring water back into the pond. The other water, she has two vessels, the other water vessel she's pouring back onto Mother Earth, very, very close to the pond, yet her foot sits on top of the water. And she is in a state of prayerful meditation. She's very much in a state of suspended. There's an alchemical thing going on with her. But another card that represents Aquarius is the Zero card in the tarot, often called the Fool, the Jester, the Trickster. And so the Fool card is at the edge of a cliff, and he has all four elements, and he's got a little walking stick, that he's got a little pole there, a little stick, and he's got like a medicine bag, like a knapsack. And in there they say that he has all four elements, the earth, fire, water, air. And he's on the edge of a cliff, and the white dog's almost like jumping up and down like, wee, let's play. So the Fool has a lot to do. He's not foolish. He's not stupid. The Fool is when we come to a crossroads of significant life change and choice. And so the Fool, to me, always carries the affirmation, choice equals consequences. We can make really wise choices and have really good outcomes. Or we can get too drunk, or we can get, seduced by someone else's popularity or way with us, and we can go off on what they think is cool instead of what we know would be a higher path, and still fun and still adventurous, but that we're shedding that skin. That was the world I came to know, and that was the world that I got some truths from, and I got some kicks in the butt with, and now I'm going to move on. That's boring to me now. Been there, done that. I want to move forward. This is a Vision Quest new moon, and this is a Vision Quest time. Let this be the beginning of a new cycle, because you're going to trust the energy of your spirit. You're going to trust yourself. There's going to be raw expressions. There's going to be a new alignment to your freedom and an intentional, encouraged sense of purpose. There's a clarity. There's an understanding that you've been seeking for a long time. Some of you 7 years, some of you at least 3 years. And then you're coming out on the other side of this renewed, transformed. And so it's your turn. It's your turn to claim it. And I feel that this is a part of you rising on. It's like a Spirit's given us permission to fall in love with ourselves, to romance ourselves. What makes this new moon more magical and heavenly is that we're straying into the quantum field to create a soul sacred alignment ritual that allows us to actually bathe in our imagination and creativity, and that can run wild because it's protected by the divine. And what we're being served is an open channel. You don't just open up yourself to any kind of energy or let anything run through you. You have to use your discernment. You have to use your holy discernment and allow it to come through the portal and the gateway of the I am that I am. For me, it's the Holy Ghost. I don't push that on anybody. I don't care. If it doesn't get cleared by the Holy Ghost, I ain't going there. That's just what works for me. It's what works for me. It's my good director. So we have an ability to have straight from this holy higher consciousness. And some of us, a lot of us, especially if you're an emotional empath and you feel things that other people are feeling, you could feel that there's an odd tiredness. It's almost like you need a reset and a recharge. So, and I want to remind you with the Pisces factor, with these planets together, it is human, the creature that we are, the mammal that we are in the Garden of Earth. It is human to fall short time to time. Sometimes we strive for perfection, and that can both inspire us and drain us. It can motivate us, or we can put it so far out in front of us that it doesn't seem like we'll ever achieve it because we're still chasing a fantasy. So if you feel like you're restless or you're frustrated or you're threatening yourself to sink into a little bit of darkness or despair, and you feel like that you just fell short of an ideal or a goal, just remember, there's an old Stoic saying that says the actual obstacle is the way. The actual problem is the teaching. So the challenge that we face can be internal, external, or both, but what do we do to master it? Because once we do, then we rise to knowing that we don't have to jump off a cliff or fall off of a high wall to understand that, oh, okay, I fell. I could get back up again. I don't know why I did that, but I had to experience that. Some things we just have to experience. And so for Pisces, Virgo, Those mutable signs with Jupiter and Gemini, if you're Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, the 4 mutable signs, the changeable signs, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do is the question that's coming up real strong over the next 2 weeks, real strong. The action that you'll take will be between the middle of February and the first part of May. So you're going to see what the answer is as you come into the full moon in Leo, you 4 signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Sag. The full moon in Leo, by the time that happens, just pre-Valentine's, right before February 14th, is going to show you what it is, where you might be at war with yourself, and it'll also give you an easy solution how not to keep doing that to yourself, because we don't need to drain ourselves. But there's a lot of dynamic, there's a lot of change, and sometimes, as I'm saying to you, sometimes change is frightening for humans. You think about the dogs that you get out of the animal shelter or the cats out of the pound. They've just known they were wild, or someone was mean to them, or they got dropped off, and then they're in a cage, and they get used to that. They get food every day. Somebody looks on them every day. They hear other cats and dogs, and then one day somebody comes, and they're going away from what was comfortable and just safety, but often maybe kind of lonely, and then they're actually going to be with another creature. They're with cats and dogs, but they're going to go be with a human. They're going to be with a child or an older person. So we started telepathy with that when we get between species. So this is also going to be a year with the nodes being in Pisces, Virgo, to where it's no accident what animal comes, what animal seems to speak to you in some kind of invisible heart-to-mind, mind-to-heart way, mind-to-mind, eye-to-eye, and also what animal leaves your life and comes into your life. It's a very, very telepathic time. It's no accident that new podcast, the telepathic tapes about autistic children that don't choose to speak, but they have telepathy with people or their significant person like their father or their mother. That's a fascinating thing to study, because that's a part of this quantum field we're going into. Less AI, less social media, less cultural push on you're in this family and you're going to do it as I say to do it, and that's the only way you're going to do it, and more connecting with our true Father in heaven, our true soul strengths, and allow that to at least be the director of your willpower and your ego, and then you'll automatically achieve better ways to say it, better ways to think it, better ways to goal it, and better ways to interact with others, because you'll shed that which is destructive, the old skin. And then you'll earn your way up the medical rod, up the staff of healing. It's talked about in John 3:13-14, that Moses' staff of healing with the snake. You'll be able to realize that the snake is a part of, I shed my skin and I choose up. I choose the higher path. I choose the alchemy of God. And as you do that, you will see things absolutely transform in your life by some kind of invisible divine presence. And you won't just see it happen, you'll feel it. So we're about to feel things and see things with these Aquarius Pisces planets like we kind of had an ancient knowing that it was true and possible, but it's just the way water, like a river or water, cuts through the rock. It's not because of its power, but it's because of the persistence and the memory. So
I'd say for some people too, I mean, change is going to be being your authentic self in the face of everything that where you haven't been, whether it's family, friends, people that've been around you your whole life. Your soul is tired of it. It's tired, right? Like you have to be yourself, man.
It's done its best. Yeah, it's not just tired. It's tired of, I've done it this way, and I've really been committed, and I've been playing real, and I don't want the cray-cray, but I'm really genuine in this. So if this style of me doing it, and this is really me, is not being seen or heard or respected, then I'm going to be a different way. Sometimes that means we put some distance, or we just move away, or we say things like, I am not getting into politics or religion with you. I'm not. Yeah,
well, like if you get on your Instagram account and you're like, I'm an adventurer, I'm this and I'm that. Are you really? Are you just trying to impress people? Did you take a course on how to pick up girls so you could say, I'm an adventurer and I'm this and that? Are you really at heart? I mean, this is the point. Like, are you really who you are? That's the mask.
And see, Aquarius will take that mask off, because Aquarius is the actual archetype. And if you study Carl Jung, the Swiss psychoanalyst, if you can kind of go online and study some of the archetypal choices that people have. Some are heroes, some are rescuers, some are the saints, some are the healers, some are the soldiers and the warriors and the mystics, and there's a lot of different archetypes, and you learn from the psychological one that you're drawn to. You kind of learn, are you in a phase in your life? Because please don't ever forget that we have all 12 zodiac signs around our wheel. Once God breathed breath into us, that was the time and place and location of our birth and the date and the year. And so that's just the sign that was placed there from your time of birth that starts the wheel and the planet's positions and all that. So all of us are enhanced and empowered if we learn out of the 12 celestial star spices. Right now it's Aquarius. So our empowerment point, no matter what sign we are, or if we have an Aquarius planets, it doesn't matter. Aquarius is the color of the light bulb that just went on. Aquarius is the room that we're in right now. It's the room in our house that says, you got this, yeah. There's going to be some people that might not agree with it. There's going to be some people that might not see why, and just because they couldn't break through a certain thing or they didn't have the courage or the boldness to go do it, they're probably going to criticize you, but at the same time, they're secretly watching you, hoping that you do break their belief of despair. Pisces is our beliefs, and Aquarius, the sign right before it, is what we're choosing to put our mental power and our goals and our energy into. So the Pisces part of us is saying to us, have you checked on your beliefs lately? Have you been holding on to what you thought was someone else's belief or someone else's judgment or someone else's truth? And it's okay if that's their truth, but that's their truth, and it might not be your truth. We might end up being compatible. We might not arrive at it in the same way at the same time, but I'm not going to push my truth on you, and I can assure you you're not going to push your truth on me, and we can agree to disagree. You'll see less of me, and I'll wish you well, and that's fine, but I want you to be happy, so it's okay. I'm going to like you, love you anyway, but just because we may not see eye to eye on certain things, we can agree that as long as we're the best version of ourselves when we're around each other and we don't start spitting at one another and hurling insults or sarcasm or criticism, it's okay. Because some people, they have a lack. They have an inability to even form the words of why they're hurting. Not everybody's a communicator. That's an archetype. A lot of people play the class clown or the jester or the joke teller or the comedian. That's an archetype. Some people like learning, and you can reach them easier through humor and laughter. And then there's the ones that want to respond to the serious experts type of a thing. So the Pisces part of it is reminding us, whatever you do, you want kindness to be in your life. Move away, spend less time with that which is not kind, and you developed your kindness merit. That word a lot. We're gonna develop our kindness and our compassion merit, but doesn't mean we have to get used, abused, or we're the suckers born every minute and we keep letting people take advantage of us. No. Because if you keep letting someone disrespect you or take advantage of you or be abusive to you in word, deed, or action, then there's some part of the drama that you're getting off onto. It's a pattern.
It's a reflection, too, I think.
Absolutely. Or projection. Projection, because if you're reflection, archetype.
If you're not being authentically you, how much can you really love somebody? You can't love somebody with your full heart if you're faking it, right? Which is where Aquarius kind of helps in ways. But you also don't know what's true if you're faking it. So you can smile and be kind, which is great, but you don't have to lie behind the smile.
Right. Oh, absolutely. No, it's a mask. That's another mask that has to come off. Aquarius is like, I am that I am. It's like there was an old cartoon my parents watched called Popeye, and he was like Popeye the Sailor Man, and he would open up this can of spinach, and every time he opened up this can of spinach, he only said one thing: I am that I am. And then his little song was, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, but I am that I am. And so he was like this in a sailor outfit. So it has a lot to do with, if I stay true to who I am, and whether people like what I said or didn't, that's okay. It's a big place. There's a lot of opinions. Go find the one that's your team.
Right.
Go find the coach and the team that helps you, but don't take your time and your precious energy to criticize or insult another person just because you don't see it the way that they see it. Just move on. Just freaking move on.
Yeah, it's a waste
and
of
get
time.
your stuff
too.
going and get your game going. That's what it is. Don't let negative energy trap you. We have a certain amount of minutes and hours on this planet walk. Stop letting energies and people and things in our own minds, in our own beliefs, drag us and stagnate us and hold us back, because these signs and wonders in this new moon into the full moon, I literally can hear the heavenly things are signs and wonders to behold, miracles sweeping in one with our breath. I mean, I really do see this. That's not airy-fairy. That's not false prophetic promises. I feel like the canopy of energy that's with us right now is what will make it. How we'll fashion it, to Joe's point, no mask. I am what I am. It is what it is. I want to listen to you. I want to hear what it is. But if your words don't match your actions, I'm shutting down. I'm not listening, because I got a life to live. I got things to do, and I want to be involved in the things that are uplifting and spiritually strengthening and empowering. And if other people don't need to hear the message, not ready to hear the message, want to argue with the message, bye-bye. It's okay.
And for me personally, I don't know about everybody else, and for me, and I talked about this when I was painting Domek's house, because I feel like Domek's a brother of mine now. I mean, we really had some intimate talks between dudes, right? And I said, look,
love it.
When this year started, I can't be around. Not that it's not, when I say I can't be around, doesn't mean that those people are bad. It's just I personally.
I won't be around.
Won't be around things that are inauthentic or lies or things, because I don't feel safe in those environments. I don't feel safe to love, because to me, everything's about love. Okay. So I don't feel safe to love or to be loved if everything is a mask or anything is a mask. It doesn't work for me.
No, it shouldn't work for anybody.
Well,
I mean, people can do contractual. I mean, they can do contractual, hey, I want to do this. You agree with me? Yeah, they can make a contract with each other and agree to whatever behavior it is that they want to do that might not be my cup of tea. But if you're authentic and someone plays authentic back, it's either going to be, oh, that's cool, or, oh, me too, or, oh, well, I do it this way. Okay. But I mean, at least the ground that you're walking on is solid ground.
Like how many? How you were talking about significant others. Like how many people go on a date and instead of we could talk about jobs, but dating's easy because everybody can relate to it. How many people go on a date and sit in front of the other person on the first date? I know some people do it, but not everybody. They just put all that "how does this person perceive me" crap out of the way and say, "This is what I'm about and what I'm really looking for." Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't happen that much. You wouldn't. I've tried the dating world. It doesn't happen that much. It's all about what does the other person think, and now you're just in a whirlwind of shit. It goes nowhere. It doesn't go anywhere.
Or it can be or it can be that you're clearing out the closet right away, like nothing has to get stored and put in the closet. Yeah, it's just like you sit down and you go, "Hey, listen, I'm Mary, and I if you want, I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to hear your story, and then." You can ask me what you want to know about mine, but I think it's just here we are. It's a couple of people meeting, and it's it may not be on the same path at all of what one another is looking for, and I'm not want to put my expectations on you or you put your expectations on me. But fate brought us together, and at the very start point, we're going to have a little dinner together. I can buy mine, you can buy yours, or whatever. But we're going to just fate brought us together, and it's going to be interesting.
Checks. We're going to split checks.
No, but not me, honey. Honey, I'm a Southern girl.
I was fixing to say.
I'm a Southern girl. I'll either buy mine because I'm not committed to anything that I have to explain or anything, or it'll be like I'm usually the one to just say, I got this. I got this. Now, in the dating world, I'm a Southern girl. You want to take me out? Yeah. If you want to take me out, then you're inviting me out. If I ask you out, then I'm inviting you out. I don't have a problem with that at all, not with my friends or anything. And really, I don't even like to think about the bill. In my world, and I'm not independently wealthy at all, but in my world, people laugh at me all the time. They say, you just love to spend money. I said, in my world, it takes every bit of the pressure off of everybody at the table, whatever the little agenda is. If I just walk up to the server and say, and I don't go till I have it, I walk up to the server and say, give me the check. Just give it. Yeah, just give it to me so I can get it done. And then when they act like they're reaching in their wallet or their purse, madame. And they'll say things like, well, at least let me leave the tip. No, I got it. You want to leave some tip? That's great. That's good for you. But I got
I'm
it.
hoping all that stuff goes to the wayside. Social media is
I know.
programming people like on how they should be.
What I love about what you just said is let's not let any Instagram or TikTok survival or death or Grok or what
podcast, whatever.
Podcast. Here, sign up for this and pay for this workshop, and you'll score every woman or every guy. But no, I mean, look at your intention. Is your intention you just want to go play with a bunch of people sexually and socially? You don't have to sign up to go find that out. I mean, go to some club in the Caribbean and get game on. Or do you want to find that there's something that would be like a compatible, some people you'll be compatible with mentally. You absolutely will love same gender, opposite gender. You absolutely love being around them and having conversation with them, and it never has to be any more than that. And no matter who they date or who they marry or whatever, it doesn't matter because you guys just have really great mojo, juju. And it's like that's not a person that's ever going to want to stab you in the back, and you wouldn't even think about doing that to them, type of a thing. So if we can all get rid of the agenda, and if we can all let go of their need to conquer or to be greedy about somebody else's stuff or somebody else's success or somebody else's hard times, if we could just be spiritually dominant, compassionate, authentic energies. And if that's all you let around you, I had a manager of my little store come up. I've talked to that guy maybe 2 or 3 times, but I do try to compliment when the whole staff got changed and everything. And he's younger than me, and he came up to me and he said, "I just want you to know that if you ever need anything, and anytime you come in here, I would love it if you would just say hi and talk to me. I just love your energy." That man has no idea what I do. And I said, well, it's really been hard for you. The Ingles store in Asheville got all flooded and everything, and you guys all got sent in, and, it's tough. You come into a new town and everything, and I just kind of like to start with what somebody's doing nice or somebody's doing right, and I just kind of want to compliment because, as you know, anybody can complain and insult, and he goes, yeah, that. Just like you were saying, Joe, yeah, that. Like, just be authentic. Just...
look, even if I went on a date with a girl that was like, I'm not looking for anything serious, I just want to play around, I'd be like, well, we're at least we know we're at different places. Right. But I would still sit there and eat. Right. I would finish my dinner because I'm glad I'm finally around a person who's not scared to say exactly who they are and what they want.
Exactly. And again, like you said, it's just like it's so refreshing that you can sit there and actually express what you want right now in your intimate life, what you want or don't want in a relationship. I think that's awesome. That takes a lot of work. I'm not at that place. I'm not at a play place. I'm at a place where I'm like looking to really develop the depths of an intimacy. But you know what? I've been at that play place, so I understand it. And people come and go out of that. Thank you for just being raw and real. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool to me.
And even, hey, look, even if you don't know what you want, wouldn't that be cool if somebody sat there and was like, I really don't know what I want, but I'm here. That's what's real.
All I know is I'm here.
Yeah, if that's what's real, then say it. Like, just focus on that. That's part of consciousness, is being self-aware all the time. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a loving thing. Now, if somebody's trying to convince you, I think a lot of people are afraid to say that because that they're vulnerable now and someone's going to try to convince them or manipulate them. But if you're solid in who you are all the time, no one should ever be able to manipulate you.
Right. Because whether you're at work or you're in a bad mood or you're tired or you're busy playing with the dog or whatever, you're just doing you. You just let them see who you are. Somebody says, everything okay? Yeah, I'm just quiet right now.
Yeah.
It's just, no, it's not you. It's just like I'm probably spinning something around in my mind because some people that know me will say, there she goes. She's got about 1,000 things on her mind right now. She's going to get them done. I'm like, I'm doing lists. It's the Aquarian part of me. Whatever planet you might have in Aquarius,
I
is
said
really
that this week,
supercharged.
Mary. I thought about you too because I was talking to some friends and they were, one was saying, "Well, I like princesses." We're talking about dating, and he said, "I like princesses. I like girls I can take care of." And I said, "Well, I don't." Nobody got
Good for
mad.
you.
Nobody got mad at each other, right? We were all just talking
Right,
about
right.
it. I was like, "I don't. I'd like a strong, independent woman." And I'm not talking about your damn career. What I mean is you don't need me to pamper you at all, even though that
Right,
might
right.
happen. It's not.
Right.
I don't need to
It's not an
dominate
expectation. Yeah,
you.
right. Right.
24/7. Like that doesn't mean that anybody that wants that or needs that is bad. We all got different tastes, flavors, whatever. Problem is you get on social media and you listen to podcasts and the categories start coming up. And then you tell yourself, well, I don't fall into that category and there must be something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing.
No, there isn't.
You know?
No. It's, if anything, that podcast is letting you see, which I think is cool. When I have a podcast and I listen to it and it's like, oh, okay, good for them. I'm out. It's like Shark Tank. And for that reason, I'm out. It's a no for me. It's like, that's great for whoever that audience needs to hear. That's why I'm not insulted at all if someone doesn't want to hear what I do and the way I do it. There's thousands and hundreds of really good and wannabe psychics and astrologers and all that out there. Every category is out there. I hear the circus song, dun, 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 dun. So it's like, it's all out there. So it's easier now for you to find your current psychological groove, but you got to make sure you don't get stuck there. You don't want to just go to the podcast and you don't want to just go to the people that are like, yay, I'm a Virgo and it's the Virgo Club. I mean, that's going to be fun a little bit, but then it's going to be too much Virgo. Right? No, not at all. So like Joe said, if you can just, a lot of times when I was doing more of the single thing, I would just say, hey, grab a friend if you want to or whatever. Let's meet at the comedy club. I'd always go to the comedy club. So, oh, by the way, I'm a back row girl. I don't sit up there and heckle the comic. I like the back row so I can watch everything and watch the audience and the comedian interact. And it was just fun. It was just fun. It was lighthearted for most of the time, and it was just easy, and you can have snacks there and all that. And even if you weren't going to be on the same wavelength of the one that wanted to party and slice through a lot of people in bed, and you were more at a point of like, now I kind of want the more developed, part of me in relationship to happen, you're at that space because we go in and out of them until we find what we want, and then it's like, okay, now I got a whole other job to pay attention and invest in this. So when you do something lighthearted like that, everybody still has the fun dinner, or it was like a little appetizer and drink on the beach, and everybody enjoyed looking at the beach or in the mountains. And so it's kind of like you create an environment or an atmosphere that they can really be them and you can really be you, and it doesn't have to just be expensive. It doesn't just have to be this or that. But if somebody wants to, there's a perfect partner out there for the guy that says, I love to pamper the princess. I think that's cute. I think that's sweet. I really do. But I do. And I can feel it. I can feel how delightful that is. But if you've got that strong independent guy or that strong independent woman, then it's not that they're not appreciative of it. It's probably they're not just going to let themselves be like in the little ruffles and the frills and succumb.
I said that to someone and they were like, we got to get into the signs too. But I said,
yep.
I like a strong independent woman. And she was like, she immediately started talking about her career. I was like, I'd almost prefer you work at McDonald's, actually. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm talking about. So sometimes we have to communicate exactly what we mean to,
You gave her a great seed right there. I mean, she probably never looked at it like that. Like you said, of the society, their podcast, or the media news pressures, here comes a strong male that came back to her and said, no, I'm not talking about your career. I mean, that's good.
Anybody can make money nowadays. Kids can make money online by screaming. They're making millions of dollars. Money doesn't mean that much. To me, it don't mean shit. Right?
You ain't taking it with you.
If you can think for yourself, if you let no one, just personally for me, if you let no one phase you one way or the other about who you are, that's hot to me. That's different.
Yeah, because well, anybody that's empathic knows that it took a lot of bumps and grinds and shoes off, shoes on to get up and keep going on that kind of a thing, because we all fall into that at whatever age we are. Boy, it must feel good to be really accepted, or it must be good to be the one getting all the attention of a star or whatever. It must feel good not to have that kind of stress in my early home life, or this or that or whatever. I've heard it a lot from different clients over the years, the addiction, the abuse, and all that. I mean, everybody had a theater. We all went to family circus. We all did. Whether you had money or not, there were still the emotional and psychological dynamics. And now, as we go into the science, once you want to do your break, realize that when we're speaking to you tonight, what Joe's speaking about, like shedding, I'm not wearing any mask, any skin, the old snake skin that's coming off of me. It's like snakeskin boots cost a lot. Crocodile and snakeskin boots, yeah, snakeskin costs a lot. It's a real skin. So it's, we're shifting and shedding the old self and the skin that doesn't allow me to be me or to be happy or to just be who I am, because who you're really going to be compatible with, sometimes it is your complete opposite, by the way, but they'll let you be you. And you let them be them. And then that's what's exciting, is that they found somebody that would accept them being them. And it's the interesting dynamic, the compatibility flow is that I'm not out to change him. He's not out to change me. You're not out to change me, and I'm not out to push you. Let's just see if the energy can benefit each other. We find it out in friendships all the time anyway. We find it out. It's like if somebody matters, then you want them to know that they matter. That matters. Listen, if somebody's unfair with you, I'm going to let them know, yeah, I think that's unfair, but could be me, but I'm doing me. And that feels unfair to me, but so I'm not going to do the deal next time, but have a good day.
Yeah. And
like you said, it's just like, okay, here comes Spirit saying, walk out that door, walk into another door. It doesn't have to be a fight, doesn't have to be drama. Like Joe said, you do you and I do me. And, the more you shuffle through it like that, and not judge yourself or somebody else, you're going to arrive quicker at that energetic match and that vibration that helps you. And maybe, Joe, if somebody wouldn't lie, maybe you could even pre-qualify somebody on your cell phone and a text or before you even meet up with them. But I will say that I believe, as odd as it may sound, with all the Zooms and the texts and the podcasts and the microphones and all that, I really get another strong psychic sense that it's face-to-face this year,
that needs to happen.
Not look into your phones. Not look into your phones when you're on that lunch, or, just say, like, if somebody else wants to be on their phone, I just look at them and say, I'm going to put my phone up. I say, I'm going to put my phone up because I met you here. I'm going to put my phone up. Now, if they have to have a call from a kid or a job or whatever, that doesn't bother me. But I'm like, if we're going to meet for lunch, I'm going to do a new experiment. I want to put the phone up. Now, I have to do that discipline too. Turn it off and put it in my satchel. I'm turned off. So I think we need to be face to face.
Right. And imagine a world where you took that same attitude into your careers, into your friendship, into your everything life. And then imagine how well you are able to love others and be loved at the same time. Now, as soon as you say that, there's going to be a program that goes in some people's heads that, well, that's just not real life. That's not realistic. Well, that's your reality. That's why your reality is the way your reality is because you've made that rule. But it is very real. It works that way.
It's become a belief. It's not just a rule. They have adapted to that. This is one of my life guidelines. This is my that's what I'm saying with Pisces. Maybe we need to take the leashes off of some of the beliefs that are strapped onto us. Sometimes, like Joe says, we're doing these on automatic pilot.
Yeah.
And we need to. This is a wonderful time. This next 2 to 3 weeks, look again real hard on the 12th, 13th, 14th of February at the grand, beautiful Leo moon of the heart. The lion rises. Let that lion in you, that the king of beasts. The February 12th, 13th Leo moon is saying to us, and what does your heart want? They'll often say the mind and the heart can argue. Well, this Leo full moon, this one Leo full moon that's coming up in mid-February, soon, 2 weeks from now, is saying to us, what does your heart want to do? The Virgo and the Pisces are saying, how's your gut? Are you listening to your gut? Are you listening to your spidey senses? You have intuition for a reason. You talk to your angels for a reason. You ask, we're going to send it to you in dreams and animal totems and nature. We're going to send it to you. You might be out in public and somebody says an answer. They don't even know who you are, and they're across the room, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we'll get it to you. We'll get it to you.
And if you need to see proof, Go out into the world and look at the people that are following their bliss without self-destructing. The people that are following their bliss in a healthy way without that's all they do is follow their bliss, what makes them happy, who they truly are, without self-destructing. But you know what I mean? Where are those people on a success level?
Soul success is everything. Yeah.
Oh man, like it don't even seem real when you see them or notice them doing the things that make them happy or being with the people that makes them happy. There must be something wrong, right? That's what you hear people say. It must be not real. I can tell you I've been around it long enough to make sure that it's real now. I had to see it for myself because I had that same rule in my head. Man, maybe I'm just in this alt reality or something, but no.
Listen to what you just said. I had to see it. And I saw it. And you said that used to be one of my rules, beliefs, patterns. You did it. You saw it a different way. And you're like, wow, that I used to see it that other way. That was my rule. That's what it was. And you had an awakening. You had a transactional, heaven to earth, soul got into mind, soul got into your emotions. You felt it, you experienced it, and you're just like, wow, that used to be one of my rules. I know it's real. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And so I don't have to wonder if it's true. I'm now even more excited that I'm going to bring that manifestation to me. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I used to believe, that happens to them. And I'm not going to take on the patterns of my family and bicker like they did or not believe in love if they did or didn't, or whatever pitfalls and tribulations they went through. This is me. This is my mystical marriage with the divine and God. And God, through God, I can do all things.
That's right.
So I hold the rod up, and I allow that no viper, no dark bite can happen, no mask can prevail, because I walk by choice with the consequences of divine direction. Period. Amen.
You want to do the signs now, Mary? I mean, I can take a break if you want, but I don't really have to because we're not on the radio station.
Okay. No, I can. Okay, no, we'll do the signs and we'll open it up the phones for the reading. So, number one, astrological teaching. There's a station. We're at the station. Aquarius and Pisces is lively and hanging around us. And the North Node station is in the station now. The North Node, our karmic purpose, our soul sweetness, the soft moments of our life, what I get excited about, how I want to excite something else or someone else in a way that invigorates their personality, their soul, their creativity, all of it. All that's at the station. And we're getting ready to transit or to go forward. Mars right now, until we get to February 23rd, Mars is in the sign of Cancer, and it's still retrograde. So it's taken us back in time to, as Joe just said, look at it and see it in a different way. Wow, that used to be my belief. That used to be my rule. I looked at it only one way, and now I just got a great epiphany. I got a great awakening. So sometimes we look back, that old saying, hindsight is 20/20, we see clearer when we look back. We look back in order to move forward. Change is here. So we're going from crisis, chaos, confusion into the courage to create and to be able to know that we are in comfort. We're in comfort with whatever the divine puts in front of us. This is what we're paying our attention to right now. This is what I'm accomplishing. This is what I'm resting with. This is what I'm releasing. This is what I know that my spirit's telling me. I want you to heal this now. I want you to focus on this, which is why I brought up the gut health, the biome. So if you're Aquarius, and if you're an Aquarius, you're in the spotlight. And so you are being divinely, there's a divine architect, there's a lot of, some of it could be precipitated by a loss or a goodbye if you're an Aquarius, but it's still like a divining rod or a big alchemical kaboom that's happening. Certain things happen. Sometimes we lose a job, we lose a person, we lose an animal, we lose our feeling like that's still home. And even though that, is like, ugh, kind of a quicksand to walk through emotionally and just we're pulling it, like pulling nails out of a board sometimes. But then once we go through the rocky crag and we get to the top and we see the view and it's like, wow, why? Hindsight is 20/20. Why did I fight letting go of something that I already knew I wasn't happy with? I already knew I didn't know how to get out of it, but I didn't want to be there. So what was the reason that I believed I needed to fight with it? So that's why sometimes a big crisis or a big accident or event happens, because it just knocks us out of the cannon. It's like, boom, now your life's going to change.
Oh, that's so true, man. Yeah, it really is true.
And you look,
your soul,
no, it is, and it's
your
like,
soul, like something's, if your soul doesn't want to be there, you better get out of there, because something is going to happen to get you out of there if you don't do it yourself.
Lord, I'm raising my hand to the heavens and saying glory, because I certainly have, as we've talked before, Joe, when my dad would look at me and say, you still want to learn it the hard way? You want to learn it the easy way or the hard way? And I seem to have that Saturnian hard way that I did it. But boy, God, when you learn it the hard way, you wake up real strong. It's like, don't want to do that again. Don't want to do it that way again. So if you're Pisces, so we have, in late degree, we have Neptune in Pisces, which rules Pisces. We have Saturn. Saturn is about championing our fears and our addictions and our dependencies and the need to go escape into fantasy rather than facing what we need to actually confront and overcome or contend with or walk into or walk away from. So the Pisces right now in us is saying, meditate, pray, on your knees, raise your hands up. Glory, thank you, God, for coming into this problem, this situation, this challenge. Do it. Where's the books that inspire you? What are the movies that inspire you? Stay away from violence. Stay away from visual violence when we've got all these Pisces planets. It's Aquarius season. We've got a lot of Pisces planets, and the karmic planet is there. Like, don't let yourself find the video games, find the movies, shut it off. Don't let it just play in the background when it's all about zombies and murder and people in tragic times and all that. I do predict there'll be inspirational movies and documentaries and things that are coming out. Go listen to the telepathy tapes. Go watch the movie Forged, that great spiritual movie I love.
Larry, you can't stop me from playing video games.
Well, just try not to focus on just the violent, the ripping, and video games there's a lot of creative video games that don't have to have like Squid Game kind of killing everything everywhere. So
that's the only games
you know what
play.
I mean. Well, that's kind of Aries. Aries is the sign of war and action. There's speedway games, Turismo and all that. So driving the car. So if you're Pisces, it's Aquarius is your 12th house. So Pisces is the 12th sign. So I just see like the nurse practitioners and the hygienist and the vet techs and the healers, the physical therapists and the health food store owners and the holistic and the emergency room. I really see a huge shift in the Pisces industries, hospitals, insurance, big pharma, the whole prescription, doctor, nurse, protocols to be or not to be, to do or not to do, all of that is going to be undergoing a clean sweep. And I see more of a surge of natural and holistic and the blend of such and energy frequencies coming in. And Pisces, you need to really look at your beliefs about why do I have to take just that sleeping pill all the time, or I'm like cray-cray, or why do I have to have this or that. It's time for you to you may still keep it, but it's time for you to look at what's silently slipped into a habit, and maybe some of it's just not as effective anymore or working the same way, or there's too much of. So if you're a Pisces, I would look at, and that could be too much spending your paycheck and not paying your bills. It's not always just prescription or alcohol or whatever, but there's something, Pisces, that you finally can get yourself healed from, off of, better into this over here instead of just that back there. So it's about healing, but it's definitely an inside job with Pisces. And usually the Pisces construction can handle people in crisis, people in tragedy. They're damn good in the emergency room, and they're fabulous in a point of crisis, riding in the ambulance. I mean, Pisces can be the coach of the crisis and help the survival factor, and certainly coach if something isn't a crisis survival type of a thing. So they know that their natural home is the high tides and the low tides of drama, trauma, and healing. So let's opt for the positive side of Pisces, because you've got those three planets there, and get on the train, get on the plane, get in the car, that the transit, the destination that we're going into is about the better you, the stronger you, the healed you, the one that only wants to direct with compassion and kindness. And if that means cutting some people off and out of your life, and they're, yeah, if you love me, I'm your brother, I'm your brother. It's just like, done. Did it for 10 years. Always was there with the money. Always was there with the encouragement. Nothing changed.
They pull
so
that
I'm not
loyal.
doing my
You're
job.
supposed to be loyal, card
I'm
on
loyal, but what I've been doing has not been effective to raise you up in your life. So Shark Tank again. For that reason, I'm
it.
out.
Love you from afar, loyally.
That's right. Yeah, love you, but I'm not the player. I'm not the main player in your life anymore. I'm not your recipe. I'm not your remedy, and I'm not your medicine. Because look, I did it and it didn't work. So I'm not saying that's all on you, but I'm out. You're in Aries. This is 11th house, and so Venus is going into Aries. She's coming out of Pisces. She's at 28, 29 degrees. She's going into Aries like this week. And so she and Jupiter and Gemini are saying innovate, create, allow, laugh, keep expanding the social circles in a sense of not like a need to do it out of an insecurity, but just a dynamic of looking at more person to person at that gas station, at that restaurant, in that store, or whatever it is, in a new environment, going to even to the grocery store. Grocery stores can be some of the most social places that you'll ever go. It's interesting because people are all coming in there with a common cause. Got to buy something. Got to get some food. So there's going to be different social circles of interaction for Aries. Something about it's going to be different, fresh, strange, unusual, unique. I do feel that Aries are under a energy right now of forging tribal unions, tribal sisters, tribal brothers, tribal comrades, in a sense of like this is not relative by blood necessarily, but this is like truly a soldier in my life, male or female, and it has a lot to do with this energy of all this Aquarius dynamic going on, and Mars soon will be in Leo. Is that it's saying for the Aries, it's like moving on up, moving on out type of a thing. You're going to be not necessarily engaging with certain social scenarios or people for a long time, but every bit of it could be monumental, transforming, and enlightening. I mean, it's like going to be really dynamic. Like there might be a lot of see them infrequently, but it's powerful when you do type of a thing, like who you're interacting with. Like it's going to be something that's safe and reliable. So Aries are coming into some really solid goal setting and dream achievement type of a thing. If you're Taurus, it's 10th house. And so Uranus in Taurus, getting ready to shift signs too, is saying to you since 2012, you've transformed what you needed to transform. You went through the valleys and you've went through the peak experiences, and now all this Aquarius energy is like it's your time for you in your life to work on you, to do you, to allow you, and not be influenced by political or religious rules. Like just listen to your soul, allow your heart to be your director, and do what you want to do. And if you don't want to do it and people are pressuring you to do something, simply opt to say, no, I thought about it, I considered it, but it's a no for me. Gemini, it's 9th house. Geminis are needing new stories. They're wanting to travel. They're kind of like, they're getting themselves into some type of a whirlwind of chaos of doing too much, overscheduling their day close to home base. It's like beginning to be a little frustrating of what's breaking down and what needs to be fixed, and I'll paint that, and I'll rearrange that, and I'll improve that. And so Geminis just need to get away. They just need to get away and go somewhere, a weekend trip, a day trip, something. They just need to get away in a neutral environment that doesn't involve other family members or, necessarily a bunch of past memories. Just go. Have a little vacation, Gemini, because you need to. Gemini can always tell stories, but sometimes Gemini needs to go into that pasture experience of where they can get some new stories to be able to share. So with Gemini, it's like, where can I go? What philosophical, visual, cultural places will light up my mind? It's a lot of mind stuff going on with Jupiter and Gemini and all the Aquarian planets. And then if you're a Cancer, it's 8th house, and so Mars is in your sign, and it's retrograde. So Cancer moonchild, you do not want to try to be manipulative or passive-aggressive or woe is me. Don't let the Mars retrograde do that to you, because it's next going to go into Leo. But it is important, if you're born under the sign of Cancer or you have that Cancer rising, that the Cancerian element is, I can go out there and really get it, hit it, but I got to come back into my room or my shelter, or I got to recharge. The bath, the shower, I just need those moments to just really feel that I'm letting go of one thing as I shift and morph into something else. And it's a very sensual cycle that's building for Cancer Moonchild, the ocean crab. There's some sizzle underneath the surface there. And what's happening is that you are, through your pheromones and your intentions and your silent request and prayer and scenarios, that you're crafting, you're manifesting and crafting what is of an appeal to you, and you're also manifesting the magic of someone that would be very much attracted to your energy. So there's a little bit of alchemy and magic going on with the Cancer element. And magic can be prayer, and magic can be ceremony, and magic can be the campfire, and you're roasting marshmallows, and you look into each other's eyes in a way that you never did before. And it's like, wow, we're really, really soul friends, or wow, we really are going to know each other for a long time. I get you. Thank you. If you're Leo, 7th house. Ever since the 19th, by the time we got to the middle of January of this new year of 2025, a lot of Leos that I've talked to, both my friends and clients, have gone through deaths and car accidents and motorcycle freeze frames. There's just been all kinds of stuff. Leos going into the military. So it's like the Leos are like boldly getting out there, and like they don't really know what they're getting into, but it's like, whoa, that was a close call. So there's a whole lot of reckoning going on with Leo. And I'm going to tell you, Leo, don't push it. Mars is in your 12th house. Mars is getting ready to go into the sign of Leo in a few weeks, and this is not the time for you to take risk with your safety or cop an attitude, think you're better than now, act all self-entitled, throw your little impatient fits or whatever. And also to the softer Leos out there that keep their troubles to themselves because they're older, wiser, whatever, don't suffer in silence. Allow some people to embrace and soften. I mean, the people that really get you give you space. They're not feeling bad because you're not ready to emerge from the failed job or the loss you went through with an animal or a person. So Leos right now are needing to get some type of a constructive peace in their life. And they're not wanting anybody to rush them or push them because they really are going through things where they want to feel it fully. There's a lot of really private, first-time experiences that are going on with Leos. So let them be. Take any crap from them, but let them be. If you're Virgo, health, wellness, stop fighting the fact that it's winter and maybe your life is slowed down. And, if you're Virgo, it's like, what are things that are self-soothing? Maybe it's a pedicure. Maybe it's a haircut. It could be simple. It can be simple, like organizing a closet and feeling, oh, God, that feels good. I got that done. Not spending a lot of time on Virgo because Virgo knows the routine. What's hard for Virgo is to readjust the routine. Like they get locked into something. Like, you don't have to eat at just that time every day. Every once in a while you can break that routine. It's good for you. Shake it up a little bit. Your Libra, it's 5th house. So the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, are especially favored. It's just intense. And Libra right now is not letting younger people or a child dominate a whole lot of their time, because what Libra's finding out is that fun in one sense, but it's also spending a lot of minutes or hours or time where they could be exploring new portals of adventure or opportunity. So with Libra, I would say go to different places, see some different faces. If you're Scorpio, this is about foundational strengthening. This is about at the core of your being. This is about the breakout year. This is the time where you will see who gets you and who appreciates you, who rewards you, who recognizes the power and the presence of what you do in their life and how you do it. And those that stay get it, and those that appreciate you see it, and those that don't will get to miss you. So it's a 4th house thing, and that's a lot to do with soul-level type of work and construction. So a lot of you Scorpios are in a construction zone right now. There's things you're wanting to forge and build and build structure to. And so you might find your Scorpio friends kind of quietly busy or wanting to spend more time at home. Well, there certainly could be dealing with something to do with a mother issue them being a mother, a maternal issue, a mother-child type of problem that needs to be solved. Sagittarius, it's the environment that you're around, if it's toxic or not. So it could be that you're doing a really good job at whatever it is you want to do, but it's just that there's toxic words, or there's too much of an atmosphere of disdain, or it's erupting emotionally, and it's just constant bitter banter type of stuff, or, like everything that's wrong with the world. And Sagittarius could just not be around that right now. And Sagittarius are going through a dual cycle right now of both being taught by a significant other, seeing them in different ways, and also forging that into their beliefs and how they're going to teach it and learn it with a more upper scale methodology. It's got merit to it. What they're learning and what they're teaching is their merit. By next month, I'll be doing the merit of the signs. So with Capricorn, finally, it's second house. And with Capricorn, and we'll finish with this sign and go to the card readings and messages, is that with Capricorn, it's why do I spend so much time there? How am I investing or depleting my vital life force energies? It's not always just the money we have in the bank, what we save or what we spend, or hold back for the rainy day or in case somebody or I get sick type of a thing. Capricorn is about whatever I do, I want to make a difference in the way that I do it. I want to make a difference because that's why I got into it in the first place. And I want to be able to help craft a better path, to help cut the valley through the mountain, be able to have the sand restored on the beach. Capricorn's about, we've got to all have that safe space, that place to relax in nature and take a pause in life. And so right now, the Aquarius energy has got a lot of Capricorns actually thinking about businesses and work that they could be a part of or invest into that actually would be a soft, safe place for people who love whatever country they live in. What does the new American that's evolving in the we the people, for the people, of the people, we the people, that's the Aquarius energy. So we'll just take America for an example. So what do the American people want? They want lower prices, lower energy bills. They want to have the veterans taken care of and their older people and their homeless children that live in this country to be addressed first. And they want the crap in the food and the poisons and the artificial colorings. But, we don't need that. Like there's other countries that have actually done very well taking that out of there. So we don't want the companies. It's okay if they make money on the food that they create for us, but they don't need to be greedy and put fillers and artificial flavorings and things in there that are bad for us. And we don't need the government, and we don't need other big pharma or other people to tell us what's good or bad for us. We need to discern that on our own, and we need to all do our own research on what's viable nutrition and what isn't, and realize the unique build-up that you are, your DNA, your body, your blood type, your style, and all that kind of things, whether you're dairy intolerant or not, and start taking responsibility for what it is that you're allowing to go into your body temple. There's still stuff out there that's okay to eat, and luckily, another prediction for this year is that I feel like we'll start to see just the basic solid food. Like, I don't know if it's true, but I saw that, I've not gone there, that Steak and Shake is going to start having one ingredient instead of the 17 like in McDonald's French fries that they'll list, but one ingredient in what they fry their French fries in. They're going to go back to the old-fashioned beef tallow. So Steak and Shake is claiming that they're going to be frying their French fries in beef tallow only. And so when you get into places talking about clarified ghee and beef tallow and, healthier oils, olive oil or coconut oil, or sometimes if you're frying turkey, peanut oil, it's like when you're starting to see someone care enough not to put the crap in there, that's where to invest your dollars, because that's what's going to get the other things out of the food that are softly, potentially compromising our health. But it starts with Pisces. It starts with our spirit. So if you are into the divine alignment, number one, you're going to have the discernment of what to do, what not to do, what to eat, what not to eat, for example. And even if you do, you're going to have divine protection on you if you're sincere and you're dedicated to honor the temple that the divine gave you. And that's what Pisces is all about. And that's where the nodes are shifting. The eclipses coming up once we get into the second half of this year, the eclipses are Pisces, Virgo. And so for the next 18 months, the eclipses are going to be Pisces, Virgo, starting in the second half of this year. So what becomes significant is learning what's your Pisces house, what's your Virgo house, because that's where it's going to be. Improve it, serve it up in a better way, or there could be some kind of sacrifice or suffering, because that's the plus and minus of Pisces, Virgo. It's about serve or suffer. It's about give, have compassion, improve it, recognize it, give a damn about your health and your wellness. Otherwise, you'll start to see the consequences of that, which, like Joe said, when something tragic or shocking happens, sometimes it takes that for us to be able to say, okay, I've been lazy, I've procrastinated, I care. I don't want to die, I care. Yeah, I've been doing too much of that, I'll fix it. Yeah,
and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Just fix it yourself.
Oh, my God, yes. Oh, that's number one. Like, it's
Jesus
you.
Christ.
It's you. You and your body. You and your people that you choose to have orbit around you of sincerity and authenticity and merit. And it's you that has that dynamic, invited in stronger relationship with the Almighty I Am, all that is. I mean, talk to it. Invite it. Let it be a part of your thoughts, your mind, and your emotions. Let it clean up the dark places, the shadow places in your life. Let it come in and do it. It's got a supernatural broom. It's got an ability to sweep it clear, cleanse you, baptize you, ascend you by holy fire or holy water. Just invite it in. Test it. It's free.
If somebody's complaining about their health, though, right, like constantly complaining about their health and they're eating like crap or not exercising, whatever, then all right, preach at them. But other than that, just worry about your own damn health. You're not helping.
That's right. Well, it's a 24/7 job. Take care of your own self.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if someone can be inspired, it is for me. If somebody can be inspired by me not having braggadocio or pushing them, and they say, how come it is that you only buy that one creamer? Because it's got 3 ingredients. It doesn't have all that crap in it. Yeah, it's 50 cents more, but it's just cream.
Tell them exactly why.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I don't care. You can get the creamer you want to. I don't care. I don't care. But I'm disciplining me. And like I said, I love coffee. It's part of the Mediterranean in me. And I, for a long time, just like a policeman, I can have coffee in the afternoon or night, and I can still go to sleep. And the last couple of days, I've had it, and it's just like blink, 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 I can't sleep. So somebody would say, uh-oh, what's happened? You're always able to do coffee and stuff. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, they'll see that Aquarian light switch go off. I mean, that coffee will see, I'll teach you. I'll just have it in the morning, and that's it, Hoss. That's the way it'll be. I mean, I'll call up that discipline. If Spirit is showing me a change and an effect of something, a change that's going to cause me stress or like, what the heck is that? Yeah, I want to go to sleep now. Blink, blink, blink. No. Then I'll cut it back. Like, I'll test that, and I'll do it. And as much as I love coffee, and I have a lovely romance with coffee, it's just got a wonderful history that I enjoy. Coffee and I had a conversation, and normally with the show, I enjoy my coffee or my elderflower, and I said to the coffee, you sit over there. Yeah, that's right. You're not getting it. And that's what I said to my mind and my body, and that's it. I set a boundary, and I'm following through on it. So most of the time, like Joe was saying, first off, check yourself. Check yourself. I have no business, unless somebody asks me about an herb or a flower or a vitamin, I have no business telling anybody else anything if I'm not able to implement that and apply the discipline in my own life.
It's
right?
It's just, I have a personal problem with, we're all human, number one, right? But this is only me just like projecting crap out, but I have a personal problem with hypocrisy. I mean, I've seen people shove Drano up their nose and then go around preaching to people about we need to grow our food and eat more organically while they're snorting Drano up their head. I can't stand it.
I've seen it too. I've seen it too, and I'll just look at them and I go, well, I guess that's a start.
You don't see me doing that. Like, I'm not saying that because I do stupid shit. Like, I have no right to say that to people. I just hypocrisy bothers me. You know what I mean? It just does.
Say what you mean, do what you say.
Yeah, because there are some. It's almost to me because it's just like the people that are having real experiences, like whether it's aliens, Bigfoot or whatever, right? And then you got all these other people finagling stories. Well, these people don't get their justice because you see what I mean? It's the same with the health community, right? There's some people that really do take care of themselves tip to toe, and you know they could really help other people, but it's hard to trust people that don't live what they're speaking all the time. you know.
That's where the discernment comes in. You know, at any AA program, don't talk it. You got to walk your talk. You can't just talk it. You've got to go out there, put on the boots of your beliefs, and you've got to say, to thine own self be true. By thy works ye shall know me. Physician, heal thyself, and that's a part of the medical caduceus. It's about the two snakes that are twining up, the Kundalini, the Greek gods all talked about. Moses, the rod, the staff of healing. It's like, and even when you go back to the snake on the tree, and the way the story goes with Adam and Eve, what was the snake doing? It was having Eve question what she was told, right or wrong, hard pass or full belief. It's just like, okay, so the way the tale is told is the snake says, eat this apple, eat of the tree. Here, eat it anyway. Why not? Look at it. You're in paradise. Just eat it. And she was just doing what she was told, so to speak, as it goes, And so Eve got tempted. It could have been Adam. But Eve got tempted by an outside force that was a different creature. And because of that, she got transformed from the idyllic paradise. And in a sense, it's like, okay, I said, it's like when your relatives go, you'll think, I said no. No means nice to hear that. No means no. And so they had to go out of the place that they'd gotten comfortable in. They had a stationary pause, and the snake is, well, that's it. And they had to leave the Garden of Eden. So they had to go out and do what they had to do. Choice equals consequences. So if we all are a little more authentic and we pause and take that poignant pause before we say yes or no and before we make a commitment to do or not do, and sometimes, like you're saying, Joe, sometimes we do have an authentic commitment, but then the journey of life and the ups and downs and the tides and all that, it's just like if we can say to that significant other, I really, really need for you not to worry about how I might react to this. I need you to talk to me before it irritates you. I need you to tell me what your needs or beliefs are, and I can either, I'm not going to overcommit to solving every problem you ever have because I'm not going to lie to you. There'll be days where I'll say, I can do that. I can help you with that. There's going to be other days where it's like, I'm not doing that today. I don't want to. It should be okay that we can say with our real friends, I don't want to.
And check this out. If you really want, I get it too. Some people want to convince you. So this is how you do it. So when I went to the Domex, they're doing the carnivore thing. Now, a lot of people swear by the carnivore, and I've seen the results. It's real. I like carbs, so I eat carbs. But if anybody could ever sway me, they didn't do it by guilt tripping or anything. They just cooked amazing carnivore. Like, I feel like I was eating like a Saudi Arabian prince, Mary. I mean, these meals were fantastic. And they said, look, just try it. Tell me what you think. You could do that instead. If you really want to influence somebody, do it instead of talk about it, That worked for me. You there, Mary? Because we're at the last of it here. I think we should take at least one phone call. I think we might have lost Mary, though. Hold on. Let me call her. I'm going to call her back, you guys. But yeah, but this only happened because I was totally thinking about the carnivore diet, right? Like, I was thinking about talking about it. And then they started cooking the stuff. We're talking like T-bone steaks, pork loin, and like the homemade mushroom sauce, things like that. So they weren't actually preaching at me the whole time. What they were doing was they were, I don't know, just living by example, right? So, and that pretty much swayed me. Let's see if we got her back. I don't know why it's not picking up when I call her. That sucks too, because I would really like to get her a final. Let me see if she's here. Hold on. I think she's here. Can you hear me now, Mary? Oh. Good old tech. But it helps if you can do, like, I think that helps in pretty much everything, right? Like, just do it. That's how people are going to follow your lead.
You are trying to reach.
Ooh, yeah, that's weird. Like her phone just might have got shut off or something. Well, I'm gonna take a short break and we'll see if I can get Mary back, okay? Because I know we want to get her final thoughts for the night. It's live radio, so this kind of stuff happens. And maybe if she's up for it, take some phone calls. All right. Be right back, guys.
These days won't last. This too shall pass. The pain won't linger on. Through dust and dark, the seed, the spark, crying in this lonely parking lot. It's easier to love someone else than it is to be kind to yourself. What's harder is to let someone else. You love me when I couldn't love myself. I couldn't love myself. Your smell on my sheets. Haven't spoke a word in weeks, but I don't wanna lie to you. It's been dark for days. Soleil is lonely in the city by myself. It's easier to love someone else than it is to be kind to yourself. What's harder is to let someone else. You love me when I couldn't love myself. I couldn't love myself. Where you and I began, where you and I began, where you and I began, where you and I began again. I'm glad you're here with me at the end of all things. I'm glad you're here with me.
All right, I think we got Mary back. Unfortunately, because of technical issues, I'm not feeling really well. We got back Mary on a different phone, so it might not be as clear as the other phone. But I just want to get your final thoughts for tonight. And look, guys, if you want a reading from Mary, get one, right? Like, get one. They're life-changing readings. But because of this, what we'll do is the next show that we do, we'll open up that show with readings and then go into the message. Does that sound okay, Mary?
Yeah, I really feel that. I feel that Joe and I are one with that next month's show at the new moon of Pisces, because we have all this Pisces stuff going on blooming till then. Let's open it up with a switch around. We'll open it up with the calls and the psychic messages in the first hour, if not a little longer. We may end up doing an hour and a half or 2 hours of the phone calls and a briefing on astrology. There was just so much of a celestial cosmic weather theme that needed to be spoken about tonight, along with the snake year and the caduceus, and so I'd like to suggest that Joe agrees with me. So just kind of mark it on your calendars that the new moon's like a Thursday, February 27th, and we'll open right away with doing the psychic messages and the calls. Because I want Joe to rest. I'm being a little bit selfish on this. He's been working hard, and I want him to rest. And all of us feel the same way when we're committed to do a show late like this. And our physical being, which we were talking about, needs to have rest and restoration and a reset. I love you all. Blessed Aquarius, first new moon of 2025. You're in my prayers. Joe, you're in my prayers. And we look forward to continuing to help you heal yourself.
Fantastic. Yeah. And thanks to Georgiana, Monica, and Robo for the super chats. Really appreciate the support. That means a lot. And hopefully, maybe I got some good stuff to talk to you about the next time we get on there. I don't want to say anything too early, but I do know that this year is going to be it's going to be changed, just like Mary said, for sure. So absolutely, the creative change from chaos and confusion and crisis into the consciousness of the divine. It's here. Just accept it and just start doing an affirmation. I love change. I allow change. Change is my divine direction. Right on. All right, guys. Thank you, Joe. Feel better, honey. Feel better. Definitely. See you guys tomorrow night. Good night, y'all. Hey, Mary,
So this is continuous happiness. You know